I would say just trying to think outside the box a little bit and just trying to think, all right, you know, if you are seeing people in the area, just looking for spots where nobody's going, which we always say that, but I mean, it's definitely true. Just
Thanks again for joining the Voyage Outdoor podcast. Today we have Ted with the Hunting Public. Thanks again, Ted, for jumping on. We did have some technical difficulties in the beginning.
I couldn't figure out how to get the video to come up. Finally, we had to switch it over to my phone, and then now it's working now.
Yeah, he's on his phone, probably holding it. It's probably going to get sore after this long talk. But yeah, no, thanks again. I'll probably say thank you 100 times. I don't know why I repeat myself, but I usually start out with like rapid fire questions because they're just questions that I want to know, right? And so I'll start out with your favorite animal to hunt besides a whitetail.
Probably an elk. Actually, for sure, an elk. Definitely elk.
I was gonna ask when he said he moved out to Colorado earlier. I was like, you guys got the elk bug recently, haven't you? Or was that before and you just are now getting out there a lot more? When did that start?
Yeah, so Warbez had been out there in 2016. He actually went down to Arizona. That was before my time. That was in Midwest whitetail days, but he went down to Arizona and hunted elk. And then the next elk hunt that we went on was Zach in Colorado. And that was 2019, September of 2019. We went out there with Born and Raised.
Yeah.
And that was extremely, extremely helpful because those guys knew so much about elk hunting. Obviously, that's what they do. That's their main thing. Yeah. So they asked us if we wanted to go on a hunt with them. And Zach was the one that ended up going, and then I got to go along and film. And so I think that was both Zach and I's first elk hunt. It was for sure my first elk hunt. I'm pretty sure it was his. And ever since then, I mean, we've been going pretty much every year since then. Somebody go with a tag. And yeah, that first trip was super helpful because we went to over the counter Colorado and backpacked in with Cody and Wes. And so we learned a ton about elk hunting on that trip. Yeah. So that was awesome. Super helpful.
Yeah, we actually, I just interviewed Trent yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, he was awesome. I tell you what, he was awesome. He was a great dude. I mean, really.
Yeah. Nice. I got his crispy boots from Wisconsin turkey camp.
Oh, really?
That was back in, I think that was 2019. Right before we went elk hunting that first time with them, they came to Wisconsin and went turkey hunting with us. And then he accidentally left his boots, and they were Crispies. And they were like, hey, they're 10.5. Whoever wants them can have them. Trent said, yeah, just let somebody take them, I guess. And I was 10.5. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll wear those.
That's awesome.
So I wore those for like 3 years out there. And then I had to buy another pair because they were so damn comfortable.
Yeah. So you bought another pair of the same boot too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't left them, I don't know that I'd be wearing them still because they're so expensive. I probably wouldn't have bit the bullet and bought a pair, but I got that pair for free. So I got to try.
That's awesome. Yeah. He's one of the best humans out there. He's awesome. I enjoyed our conversation yesterday. He was super cool, but I was curious about what you guys like to hunt. Cause I've seen the elk stuff obviously starting to come out. I'll move to the next question. This one's easy. I always ask everyone this, and this can be easy. Public land or private land if you had to choose one to hunt?
Public land. I pretty much always hunted public land.
Yeah.
Because didn't really have a choice, I guess. It was, I mean, I had permission on one little piece when I was in high school, and it was like less than half an acre, which always held bucks. It was a little drainage, and they always bedded in there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I've just always hunted public. So
yeah, that was kind of a dumb question, but I had it written down. I'm like, man, of course you want, it's probably public. But all right, and then solo hunt, like with a cameraman, or actually no, solo hunt or with a cameraman or with somebody?
I like both. I definitely, majority of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, I'm with somebody, whether it's cameraman or I'm filming or they're filming, with either way. But I do like going with somebody because a lot of the time, because you get another opinion on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're going through the woods, looking at a new area, and you just are constantly talking back and forth about what each guy thinks. And especially if you get somebody that is on the same page as you, it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then my last question would be, favorite state to hunt in besides Iowa?
For whitetails?
For whitetail. Mm-hmm.
Whitetails. Let's see here. I got to think about that one. Probably Missouri, I guess.
Yeah.
I've had quite a bit of luck in Missouri, so
yeah, you've killed some good ones.
Missouri.
Yeah, you've killed some good ones in Missouri. Well, all right, awesome. That's kind of all my rapid fire. I just kind of get that going. But we'll go ahead and jump in. I mean, I guess my first question would be just kind of take me back to like young Ted, how you got into hunting, and then kind of how you met all those guys, right? How you guys all met, how this all kind of came together.
Sure. So I started hunting I started turkey hunting when I was probably 8 years old or something like that with my dad, and he was always into it. So that was a huge help because I could always go with him and he helped me along the way. So I started when I was 8 hunting turkeys. I think I shot my first one. I was 10. And then from there started hunting deer, and we actually did have a little private piece that we grew up on from the time I was born till probably 15 years old. We actually moved to a little place that was a lot closer to public. So I hunted on that little 20-acre block for a few years before kind of going on to public more. But yeah, I started with deer and turkeys. And then when I was probably 15 years old is when I started getting into filming. And I just started with, I don't know if I had a phone at that point or if I was using my dad's phone, but I just started filming everything that I was doing when I was hunting with an iPhone like this.
Yeah.
And the first thing I ever filmed was a squirrel hunt with one of my buddies, and just started filming whatever I saw. And I had a little computer from school, because when I was in school, you get a little MacBook computer and it had iMovie on there.
Yeah.
So I just would film whatever I was doing and go on there and start editing. And basically just was watching Midwest Whitetail and Spring Thunder and Whitetail Adrenaline. Those were kind of the main things that I really like to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I just try and mimic that as best I could. And I did that from the time I was 15 till 18 or so. And I always knew that Midwest Whitetail had the internship.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my goal, was to get ready for that whenever I could get into it. So by that time, when I turned 18, THP had started. They broke off from Midwest Whitetail, and THP had started, and they offered an internship like right after I graduated. I graduated in 2018 in May or June or whatever. And then I moved down with those guys when I was in July of the same year. Like a real quick turnaround. It worked out perfect because just graduated high school. The internship came out. I got selected, and then I moved down there with them. And that's how I got started with them, I guess, just like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I kind of knew, obviously they branched out from Midwest Whitetail. What did you, kind of going back a little bit, what did you do with your videos from 15 to 18 after you edited them? Did you have your own channel or anything?
Yeah. Yep. So I started a YouTube channel right away, and I had Instagram already. And yeah, pretty much those are the main two that I was kind of focusing on, I guess. But I just, started uploading them to YouTube right away. I've got all those videos are still on there.
Really?
right now. Oh yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. I'm definitely checking those out. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's just under Ted Zangerly. It was actually called, I called it Rut Cut and Strut Outdoors for a long time. And then I changed it to Ted Zangerly because I figured, well, more people might find it if it's named that now that I was with them, you know?
Yeah.
I actually still post a few videos to it once in a while whenever I get time.
Yeah.
Just to try and keep it going, I guess.
So do you have like the OG videos from the first iPhone, first squirrel hunt, that stuff on there?
Very first squirrel hunt's on there. Yep. At the very bottom. Watch it if you want. It's pretty rough, but
that's awesome. No, I love, I usually go back to people's oldest stuff. I always do. Like, I want to see the first video they posted, and it's all the same. Cause I think I always, people always talk about starting YouTube channels, right? Hunting channels. Everyone wants to do it. And I don't think people realize is that, like, if you go back to every person's channel from the very get-go, there's old raw footage where they were just grinding and putting up video after video. And it's like nobody was successful quickly. Like, so I always like to go back and look, and I don't know, I love doing that. So I definitely will look at your
it would have taken me a long time to build up a following if I didn't THP, because I mean, I was getting like 50 views or 100 views, maybe. Half of them myself.
Yeah. Friends and family. I mean, that's how we are right now. If it's 100 views, I'm stoked.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't really care at the time. I was just like, I was really doing it because I like to do it. So
yeah,
that was what helped me and kept me going, I guess.
So, question about you knew right away in high school you wanted to be a part of at least something in the outdoor industry. You said Midwest Whitetails, and then THP came along and offered the internship. Why? Like, was there ever a time when you're like, I might go do this career instead, or was your heart set on being a part of the hunting industry?
I was pretty set on it when I started doing it myself. I got pretty dang hooked on it. Like every free time I had, I was doing that. So I was pretty set on doing something in the hunting industry. I didn't know what exactly that was going to be. Like I said, I remember I was standing in the lunch line at school, and I seen the Midwest Whitetail internship. It was on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the time I ever heard of it. And I remember seeing it and thinking, well, hell, that's what I got to go for right there. Because that's the only way. I knew I wanted to do filming and hunting in the outdoor industry. I didn't want to just do like anything necessarily.
Yeah.
I really wanted filming. So, yeah, I pretty much, when I saw that, I was pretty set on doing that. But other than that, I was going to go to a 2-year college right after high school. I was planning to go to a community college and then possibly go on from there to a 4-year school, but I really didn't have any plans beyond having any other ideas. There was nothing that I really wanted to do. So other than this, I got really, really lucky that it worked out where I just graduated and I got into the internship right after that.
Did they interview you in person when you put in for that, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so I applied by putting in a resume, which at the time was nothing other than my YouTube videos and summer jobs that I had. But I put that in there, and then the next day I was at work and Warb started texting me, and from there got on a phone call with him. He asked me like what my goals would be if I got the internship, and then from there I went down to their place and went scouting with them for a day. Got on a podcast with them that night, and then drove back up and had to go to work the next day. So I think that was the only time I met him in person before I got the internship. But it was just basically a bunch of texting back and forth, phone calls, and then down there and meeting him in person. and then I internship from there.
Did you know when you left that place, were you like, I think it went well? I mean, was it like a normal job interview where you're nervous leaving, or were you nervous there at all, or no?
Oh God. So let me tell you, Warb is the best at like making you think. I have no idea if that went well or if that went terrible. I couldn't tell because I'd be on a phone call with him, or I went at him. And so like every time I get on a phone call with him, I'd be like, all right, this is going really well. This is going real well. And then right at the end, he would say something and I'd be like, see, what the hell does that mean? I have no idea. Right at the end, like it would just totally off. So it's funny. My dad gives me crap about it all the time because I'd be pacing back and forth on the deck at home, just pissed off because I couldn't figure out if I was doing good or if I was not doing worth a damn, so I couldn't tell. I remember I went down and met him, and then right at the end of the day, I was getting in my car to leave and come back home, and Warb goes, yeah, well, I just want you to know, he's like, I don't even know if we're going to have enough money to hire an intern on this fall or not. And I'm just like, what? Like, what are you? I'm on the phone all the time trying to get this internship, and then I come down here and then I'm leaving, and now you're telling me you don't even know if you can hire one.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so I eventually got it, but it was funny because
that drive home after he said that was probably like, I'm not getting this. Did you?
Yeah.
You probably thought that.
But bullets trying to figure out what the heck's going on inside his head.
Now, do you guys still hire interns now to this day?
Yeah, every year we get one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So now your process is it different than it was then?
It's pretty similar still, really.
Okay.
It's thing. Like we have an email set up, and if people want to apply, they send in their resume with whatever they've got, and then we go through them and start picking them out, and then we'll call them, and then we'll do actually like a Zoom meeting like this with them if they're from, because the one intern that we got this year is from Texas.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we just hopped on a Zoom meeting with him, and then he actually met us in Mississippi and went turkey hunting with us for a couple of days. And so that's how we will go through it, I guess. It's like that.
Now, for the guys that you like want to film, or you guys have interns that you want to be around you or live, up there, are you guys looking at qualifications as the most important, or are you really looking at like, this is a guy I'd like to spend time with and we wouldn't mind having around us? Or is it like straight like, man, this is the most qualified person and let's bring him on? Or how do you guys go about that?
It's a little bit of both, I would say. A lot of times we'll get people that send in resumes and they've got like all this college experience of they went to school for marketing and all this stuff. And we look at that and take that into consideration, but it's more we're looking for somebody that's like self-taught, or somebody that you can really tell has the drive to come and learn from us about how we're doing stuff, because it's a little bit different than technical stuff in college or whatever that they're learning. So, and then the other thing is looking for somebody that we can hang out with, because we're with them. Once they move in, they're there 24/7 for 6 months straight,
Yeah.
Or more.
That's probably hard to find the right person, because it's like, well, this person's going to be living with us or living near us, around us. It's got to be tough. Has there ever been one that just didn't work out, or do you guys, how long do you have them for? I have an intern, just a summer or fall?
They'll usually move in for around beginning of July. They'll move in, and then they'll stay till end of deer season, basically. And then a lot of them, if they're going to college, then that's like a semester that they take off, and then they can still go back in for the spring semester. Okay. But I mean, we really don't tell them they have to leave necessarily if they want to keep going. That's kind of it's kind of what I did. I just kind of kept sticking around and wasn't leaving. So
I was just about to say, you probably would never plan on leaving unless
no,
they kicked you out. So
go on the turkey tour. I mean, I'm going on the turkey tour, and then if I have to leave, I'll leave. But then I got hired in between the deer tour and turkey tour. But I was pretty dead set on going on the turkey tour because I kept thinking, man, if I get to hunt one fall the whole every day, and then I get to go spring turkey hunting across the country every single day, I'm going to do it. And then I'll go back to work or go back to school after that if I have to. So that was kind of my thought process on it. But luckily I got hired, so now I get to keep doing it. But
yeah, and you kind of, I mean, I know you love doing it, and it almost probably doesn't feel like a job when you love doing something. And so kind of going back to, you said your dad was kind of like, you were pacing the deck. What did they like? How supportive were they about kind of all those early decisions of, hey, I don't want, because, parents, my parents, at least, if I don't want to go to school, I want to pursue this. How'd they kind of react to that?
They were totally on board the whole time. I mean, they've always been like that. I guess they're always on board with,
yeah,
at least for now, they're like, you got to at least go try it.
Yeah.
And so
that's awesome.
And super, super helpful. So, yeah. I mean, they helped me pay for the whole time I was down there, because I didn't have very much money. So yeah, they were out till I could get going, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, so like, I had some kind of just dive into some more things here. So like, when it comes to like you guys setting up for like this fall, do you guys get together and build like plans of like, hey, we're going to go here, 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 here. These are our goals for this year. How do you guys set up the coming fall? Like, how do you guys break that down?
Yeah. So we do meetings like every week, pretty much, whether it's on Zoom or in person. Yeah. And we'll just we got lots of stuff to talk about, but then eventually it always comes back to deer tour that's coming up or turkey tour that's coming up, whichever one. And once we start finding out what tags we have, because with the elk stuff and different deer draws, it takes a while till you find out, all right, we are this tag or we're not going to have this tag. And then we start planning it out based on when seasons open up and stuff like that. It's a pretty loose plan usually when we're going into the fall, but we're trying to get a little bit better at that. Trying to kind of cut the tags down a little bit and have more structured plans. All right, we're going to go here first, and then we're going to go to this spot next, and stuff like that. So,
when it comes to Iowa with the draw system, is everybody a resident of Iowa, or do they have to try to put in every year and get those tags?
No, we're all residents of Iowa except for Zach, is a Colorado resident now. And I think he's been buying points to try and come back for gun tag. Yeah. That takes like 1 or 2 points. I'm not.
Yeah.
But
archery for Iowa is like 3 or 4 now, I think.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It takes a lot of points to get the tag. But yeah, the rest of us are residents, so we can get it every year.
Yeah. And is that why you guys do a lot of Missouri stuff, just in general? Because it's obviously Missouri is super easy to get rifle, archery, all that, and they're cheap compared to some states. They're fairly cheap.
Yeah, I think it's like what, $225, and you get 2 turkeys or 1 turkey maybe and $2 or something.
Yeah, the archery portion. Yeah, you get $1 in before rifle, 1 after rifle. Or 2 after rifle if you want. You have to split them up though. And then, you get the turkey, which is fall turkey. You could shoot it anytime during archery. So yeah, it's nice. They used to be, when I was in high school, it was $150 for all that. And still $220 or whatever it is now, I think it is. It's still cheap. I mean, other states are like $350, $400.
Yeah.
Kind of in that 300 range. But I was actually thinking yesterday about some public ground. We're going to try to do, obviously I grew up on property. My dad had a couple hundred acres. And so I was super blessed as a kid to be able to hunt, and I just didn't when you're a kid, you don't realize what's not around you or what other. So like my experience was always private ground, my dad's property, life's great. Right. And then I moved 2 hours away and I'm like, I got to find somewhere to hunt. And so public ground it's interesting because I feel like the majority of people have to hunt public because they don't have obviously, or they could door knock, of course, which that's what I think I'm going to try to get out there and show people how to door knock. I've had a ton of success doing that. Do you do a lot of door knocking when you guys travel at all, or does it just other people kind of do that?
I don't. We don't really do a ton of door knocking. It kind of depends on the area. I'd say the time when we do the most is up in Wisconsin during turkey season, or like Maine, I guess. When we were in Maine, we were door knocking, which that's a weird one because you don't actually have to ask them if their land's not posted. Technically, you can just go.
Really?
Yeah, at least that was when we were there a couple of years ago. But we were just asking because we're filming everything, and it's just better to know that you have asked them already, and instead of running into trouble, down the line.
Yeah, that could lead to a lot of crazy things.
Yeah,
that's a crazy law. But yeah, sorry, continue.
That's all right. Yeah, I'd say that's when we do the most door knocking. We don't really do it much for deer hunting, but yeah, I don't know. We usually just try and hunt the public as much as we can. I guess we were doing it in Tennessee a little bit. Actually, no, that was public land in Tennessee, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Because that was all unmarked. That was all unmarked public. That's why I was thinking private. No, that was unmarked public that we were hunting. But I would say, yeah, the majority of the time it's just during turkey season when we're up in Wisconsin or sometimes in Iowa, but not a whole lot.
And I was curious about that. I didn't know. I see you guys doing it during turkey season, and I was curious if you did it at all for deer. But that kind of leads me to my next question. When it comes to public ground, what I was kind of saying earlier is that's the majority of the hunters, and I honestly think you guys showing the average guy that anybody can go and hunt public ground. I think it's why THP is growing so much, and of course you guys as personalities seem to be great people. So, but on the side of showing people how to hunt public, what do you think the average guy that goes and hunts public, what do you think he misses going into the public ground? What do you think to not be successful? Because you guys have been pretty successful on public ground. What would you give advice to the average guy that he may be overlooking when going into a public ground piece?
I would say just trying to think outside the box a little bit and just trying to think, all right, if you are seeing people in the area, just looking for spots where nobody's going, which we always say that, but I mean, it's definitely true. Just take a day or two when you get there to really scout around, whether that's driving around all the public that's in the area or walking into some places. Just setting yourself up to where I think one thing that we try and do a lot is trying to find or taking the first day or two to really scout the area out and then having a game plan going into the next few days that we're going to be there. All right, I got this spot that I can hunt. I got this spot I can go to. I got this spot I can go to, rather than diving right in and hunting a spot and then backtracking and saying, all right, now I got to find another spot to go hunt. Just try to be as efficient as we can, I guess, when we're on the trips.
So you're saying, like, even if it's a day you could hunt, you would spend the first day scouting it out, getting on Onyx, looking at everything and using that first day of the trip or hunt or whatever to really find out where things are?
Yeah, I would say just definitely taking your time to, whether it is driving around or whatever you got to do to scout, looking at the maps, whatever, just taking your time to say, okay, eliminating certain areas where there's a bunch of people or areas where there's no sign, just taking those first couple of days to get familiar with the area and then diving in and going hunting can help, I think, a lot. I think that planning helps a lot down the road on the trip because you've already got all that stuff done. You basically done all your homework. All right, now I know have a good idea of how this all lays out and where I want to spend my time.
And you guys use for like mobile setups with public, you guys have seemed to transition to kind of saddle hunting, correct? Is that all you guys use or on public, or do you use any portable hang-ons at all anymore?
It's pretty much all saddles at this point. We will use a hang-on stand a little bit more. I'd say we use those more in Iowa, because if we already have been into the area a bunch, we know what tree we're going to go in, then maybe we'll take a hang-on stand if it's not too far to walk or something,
Yeah.
Just, I mean, sometimes it's nice just to be able to sit in one of those and be able to move around a little bit easier, I guess. Yeah. But most of the time, I pretty much use a saddle all the time now.
Or ground.
On off the ground or climb a tree, I guess. But
I haven't tried saddle hunting at all yet. I need to obviously dive in and try that. Just for anybody watching, what do you think some benefits are? And you can even bring up, obviously the weight of it is huge, but what's some just general benefits for saddle hunting, and why I should probably start getting into it? So
I think just the weight of it, like you said, you got way less stuff on your back. And like when we used to carry big stands around, and then you carry something real heavy like that into a spot, and you're thinking, well, now I feel like I got to set this thing up and get in a tree because I carried it all the way back in here.
Yeah.
Where saddle, I feel like I'm just walking around with nothing on, or a lot less, and I don't feel so bad when I decide, all right, this spot's better for sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'll get on the ground and sit there. And but I think being able to twist around the tree is a lot easier in a saddle.
Yeah, I see that.
Like lowering, you got all those adjustments. So if a deer's coming in and you need to get down below a branch to shoot it, you can reach up and loosen I don't remember what it's called, but like the thing that's grabbed onto your rope, and loosen it and slide down a little bit if you need to.
Yeah.
Another thing is the safety. It's way safer, I think, because you're always connected to the tree no matter what. Whether you're climbing the tree, you got that lineman rope around. Then once you get up the tree, you hook that tethered rope up and hook it on to your bridge. And then you're hooked into the tree before you let go of your lineman's rope, and you're just always hooked in. I actually fell out of a tree one time in Kansas, but I had the saddle on, and it was before daylight. Me and Jake were setting up, and I was moving around, seeing how I film around one side of the tree, and I stepped over on a branch because I'm just swinging around in the saddle. So I stepped over on a branch to see if I could film or step on it and film. And I stepped on it, and it just gave out, and I just went swinging in the saddle for a second. But I was like, if you were doing that when you got a hang-on stand and you hadn't hooked your harness up or something yet, might have fell out of the tree. But with that thing, you're just always hooked in. So I like that about it.
Yeah, you just talking about it makes me think. I can't believe we used to use climbers. I'm so. I can't believe the stuff I used to do, because the safety now is huge. Obviously, we're super safe now. We go up. That's why I think saddle hunting would be nice to try. Just the way it fits you. And I would definitely. I saw that they upgraded the back support. I think that was my biggest concern from an outsider view. I was like, man, your back has no support, but they've kind of upgraded different things. And you guys are sponsored by Tethered, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I was looking at their stuff the other day. So, but I was just curious, I think I need to get into it and try, because I've been more mobile with my setups, obviously with the public and the knocking on doors. Hey, yeah, you can go hang a stand and run back there. So I've been doing a lot of cast irons, like the XLP Lone Wolf stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. I've not used the Lone Wolf custom gear, but I used to have a little Lone Wolf assault stand or something like that. I like that.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf custom gear looks awesome. Obviously, I don't know the full backstory, but DeCastros as a group just started it new with the XLP. I love XLP. I just bought theirs randomly one time, and fell in love with how the sticks all, stick together, and just put book bag straps from my elk hunting bag onto my old elk hunting bag onto my platform, and then I just throw it on. I think it's like 22 pounds. So I've been doing that a lot. That seems to be easy. Because like you said, back in the day, I used to haul in stands, like sticks on one arm, stand in the other. I'm sure that was like 40, 50 pounds, back in those days. So this has been a huge, probably growth in the hunting world with the lighter weight stuff for sure. So,
yeah, I would definitely, like you're saying, the back support, I'd say the back support helps a lot. And if you get a set of knee pads.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
Help a lot for just being comfortable. Cause, you can sit there for 2-3 hours or whatever, but then after that, it probably start getting pretty sore.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of guys that there's a guy who was at, I think, EP8, but he did a video on YouTube and he turned around and then hinged himself up. So he was standing. Yeah.
Over
his shoulder. Yeah. And then he tightened it. So he's like standing up and he could still shoot like standing, looking out instead of looking at the tree. So a lot of versatile stuff.
That's one thing that I've done a lot more is sometimes I'll set it up so I'm facing, like if I think the deer's coming from a certain way, I'll set it up so the platform just faces that way. And then I'll do, like you were saying, put the strap over my shoulder instead of hanging there off the tree.
Yeah.
And then stand there. It's a tiny platform, but I kind of like doing that sometimes. Just standing right up against the tree and looking right at where the deer's going to come from.
Is it weird at first when you first get on that platform and you're looking 20 feet, 15 feet down? Is it weird at first?
Yeah, at first it is. It definitely takes a while to get used to, because first time I tried it might have been 2018 when I was an intern, and somebody I think Arrow Hunter had sent us a saddle. So I tried it, and I remember, the first time I got on that little platform, it was pretty spooky.
Yeah. I can imagine. I'm a big platform guy, so so I think that would be weird for me at first, but obviously it's super safe. So did you ever think that when you first got into this, did you know, like, what, we really want to grow this? This is going to be huge. Did you feel that, or did you just like, what, I'm doing what I love. If it grows, it grows. Or what did you feel when you came into it?
When I was first starting, I was like you were saying, I just was happy to be doing it because that's what I had wanted to do. So we started out, or when I got down there, they had 20,000 subscribers or something like that. And we got to 50,000, and that was a huge deal. And then it just kept going and going and going. So it's been definitely surprising how much it's grown and how fast it's grown. I know they have always said that too. They're like, never expected it to take off like it did. So it's been awesome to see it grow, and it's almost 500,000 subscribers now. So
I know I saw that the other day. That's pretty awesome. So
I hope it keeps going.
Who does like a lot of the editing? Do you guys, when you guys first started, was it you guys really in there editing everything? And now do you still edit, like everyone edit, or do you have editors kind of working for you?
We still do it. We all edit. Like me, Zach, Jake, Greg, and Ward all edit the videos. Just kind of depends. Like we went down to Texas last weekend or 2 weekends ago, I guess. And then we got a bunch of videos from there. So I've been working on 2 of them. Greg already made one of them, and then he's working on another one. And Zach's got some that he's working on, and Ward's got some that he's working on. So that's kind of how we split it up. And then we all come together right before we're going to post it, or not come together, but text each other back and forth, and everybody kind of watches it, make sure it's good to go. So that's how that goes.
Greg seems like he's really detailed in that stuff. Is he pretty good at that? And do you guys lean on him for like advice or anything, or is he like really technical in that area? Yeah,
he's very good at the editing and camera work, and he knows a lot about all the softwares that we're using, and knows a ton about the cameras, and keeps up on what new cameras are coming out and stuff like that. So we definitely turn to him all the time to get tips and helpful information from him. But he's definitely the most experienced in all that and the most knowledgeable on it, I would say.
Do you ever look at the ones you edited and see how the viewers are taken to your edit versus another edit, or are you just always like, well, you have a little competition?
You know, like my editing or what? Oh no, you're talking about within the group.
Yeah.
No, not really. We look at thumbnails is what we look at a lot. Like what thumbnail performs the best. We've been looking at that a ton. Like Mr. Beast did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and we took a lot of tips from that, and we've been trying to implement that into our editing and into our thumbnails.
So it's funny you said that. No, I wasn't saying I don't like your editing. I don't even know which ones are yours, but no, I actually always ask, because this is something I'm diving into as well, trying to learn now, is thumbnails, titles, what works, what doesn't. I'm making my own thumbnails, so I'm not that creative, I don't think. Like I'll see a thumbnail and be like, that looks really good. How do I get a little more creative and think of that image and on, Canva or wherever I'm using? So it's kind of cool to hear that you guys kind of look like Mr. Beast talking about it. So do you guys do a lot of like research on people that are doing well on YouTube and see what they're doing, pull from them? How much do you guys do that a lot?
Yeah, we do that all the time when we're just looking at YouTube. We're looking at different thumbnails and seeing what's working and what's not for different people. I know when these guys first started, they were talking to John B a good bit about just vlog style videos, and they were trying to implement that more. A lot of times Warble, Texas, like he's got a couple of stepkids, and he'll watch what they're watching and watch what they're clicking on and try and take information from that, and then it'll pass along to us. So we're looking at, constantly trying to figure out different ways to do things and ways to improve. Yes.
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, because I'm literally doing that now, trying to do as much as I can to learn about thumbnails. It's interesting because I think the human mind, obviously, I think thumbnail, my eyes, I try to think about what I just did too. Like you said, watching your kids, I try to think about every time I see a video and I'm about to click on, I'm like, wait, why did I want to click on that? And I look, and I think it's like the first 4 words on the title. Titles can be long, right? I never read the whole title. Usually the ones I click on have something capitalized, 4 words, and then I look at the thumbnail and like, that's enough, right? Boom.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, okay, so how do I make, what's the first, now I'm starting to think, what's the first 4 words about that's going to draw them in? And then the thumbnail, of course, which I think thumbnail's huge now. I think people live on the featured page too. And that's something else I'm looking at, is how to get your videos up on the featured, like recommended page, is what I'm trying to say. So been looking at that as well.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, a combination of all that with the thumbnails got to be flat. So it's something they want to click on. Title's got to be good. And then right away when they click on the video, you're trying to grab their attention and then hold their attention as long as you can. So I try and make it as quick to the point and interesting as you can right off the bat, I think is a big deal.
Yeah. Is that kind of how you edit your videos? Did you're thinking that process through the whole time?
Yeah. We're trying to focus on that, especially more and more. Like this turkey season, we didn't post many videos. We posted a lot less videos, but we were trying to up the quality a little bit and trying to make them grab your attention right away. We were doing a lot of voiceovers and stuff right away in the turkey videos just to get people's attention right off the bat, rather than starting them, at somebody's truck and somebody's standing there putting their gear on, mumbling around, whatever. You can't really tell what's going on, trying to come out right away with a voiceover about, all right, this is what's going on. And stuff like that, I guess, is what we're trying to focus on. But it's a lot of combination of different stuff.
Sorry, I'm writing that down. So with that being said, I think if anybody that's for people watching this, I think that's important part you just said was rather than the quality, would you say that it's more important to focus on the first 15 seconds of the video and how you're grabbing their attention rather than the quality first of the video?
I would say it's a little bit of both. Like, I guess I was saying, going back to those voiceovers, I guess, taking a step back, we were watching that Mr. Beast podcast, and he was saying, like, a lot of times he'll even just throw a video out if it doesn't come to his standards, because like the YouTube algorithm, if your last video that you posted is the worst one, then the next one that you post won't get pushed out as much. So we're trying to keep them as good as we can, because every time, let's see, what am I trying to say here? Yeah, we're trying to make them. We're making less videos, I guess, during turkey season, and trying to make them better quality, trying to keep the quality from the beginning to the end of the video, but trying to keep it quick and to the point right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So that was our main focus at the beginning of the video, is quick and to the point, tell them what's going on, maybe a little backstory of what the hunt's going to be about, and then going into the hunt and keeping that moving along as well and keeping the quality up.
Why you're doing a voiceover. Yeah.
I guess just basically the beginning of the video, the first minute, 15 seconds to a minute, just trying to keep it as high paced and attention grabbing as we could.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And so I wrote down a bunch here. Also, born and raised yesterday, Trent said, he told me, so, and you guys will probably echo this, is just that 14 minutes to 22 minutes realm, you want to be in there if you can. So he was echoing that yesterday as well. So obviously that's something that I think we'll work on as well, trying to keep it to where I'm grabbing their attention. Now, what type of cameras do you guys film with? Not the DSLRs, but just the actual video cameras. Which ones do you guys use?
We have Sony X80s. We got X80s, and then I think mine is a AX700. It's basically the same thing as a X80, except it doesn't have the handle on top with the XLR inputs or outputs.
Yep.
Plug microphones into.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we use.
Why Sony? Do you guys just always like Sony stuff, or what about Canon or anything like that?
I think they've always used Sony. I used Canon in the past. Like, my first good camera that I bought in high school was a Canon G20.
Oh yeah.
And so I use that a lot, but once I started using the Sony, there was a pretty big difference, I thought, in the quality and just the focus and the different buttons on the camera. I think they're a lot better on Sony, because one main thing that I always come back to is, like, with that Canon G20, when you're zooming in to a spot and then trying to focus it at the same time, you can't focus it at the same time. You got to quit zooming and then focus it, and then zoom in some more and focus it. And that might have just been because it was a lower quality camera.
Yeah.
So maybe their higher end Canons are better, but that was my experience with them anyway.
Yeah, I think they're up to like G60 now. I don't know if G60 improved that stuff, but that's something to look into. See if they made that better. I was looking the other day is why I was asking. I looked at the G50. It's out. Well, G60 is like out there just now. The G50 is like the one everyone's buying new. But I haven't looked at the Sony, like the F80s. I definitely will. I'm guessing it's probably close in the price realm. They're all about $1,500 to $2,000 anyways.
Yeah. It was Sony to people over Canon, but that's most of my experience was with that G20. And I guess Gooch had a G40 or something like that, which was better, but still, I thought
limited
Sony was better than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious, man. There's so many little things that I love to know about, your guys' setups and stuff. And I think you guys have Greg did a video on what you guys use and stuff like that. So that was cool. Like the DSLRs. I'm not going to mess with DSLRs. I have one for taking photos. I like taking photos, but when it comes to filming, I'm kind of just a run and gun. Give me a video camera so I don't have to mess with any of the settings for filming. Because DSLRs are just a little bit more complicated, I think. I don't know. Do you run one or no?
We do at certain points. Mostly not really for the hunting video and the hunt, but like for before, if we're in the car or before the hunt or after, especially, we like to hunt then just because they look a little bit better.
Yeah, especially getting that photo for the thumbnail or whatever. It's crystal clear on those Canons or Sonys or whatever. So I do have one more question. Is there anybody on YouTube who's your favorite person to watch on YouTube in the hunting world? And then give me who you watch on YouTube that's not like hunting related.
Okay. My favorite guy to watch on YouTube, let's see. I watch Catman and Shane Simpson. And then I'll watch Do It Yourself Hunter. You ever heard of him?
No, I don't think I have.
Jeremy Aaron.
I'll write that down.
He's an older guy. He's probably like 50 or so, but he's traveling all over the place hunting, and he's got a lot of cool videos. I really like watching his videos.
Yeah, I'll have to check him out.
But he's doing pretty much real similar stuff to what we're doing. Like usually he's by himself, so he'll travel to different places and hunt. And I think he's from down by Mississippi or something. But he'll go all over the place, and he seems to really know his stuff. So I like watching him. Yeah,
he's by himself too. Films everything by himself.
Yep,
that's tough. Self-filming's tough. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially doing a YouTube channel with it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll check him out for sure. I definitely want to watch that. But no, I think I can't thank you enough for jumping on today. We've went a little bit over the hour, so I'll kind of bring it to an end. But yeah, I would say just lastly, just give anybody listening what you think, some advice that they would need, getting into the hunting and YouTube world, trying to do that full time. What advice would you give them getting into it?
I would say just to start making YouTube videos. If that's what you're wanting to do, is make YouTube videos for hunting, just start posting them to YouTube, I guess, and pick out some videos that you like. Like if there's somebody certain person that you really like watching, I would say go on there and pick apart how they're making their videos and then try and mimic that with yours. And, you'll learn a lot of how they're doing certain things as you try it through trial and error, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say that's number one thing, is just try and build your portfolio or whatever, your profile on. And then if you want to apply for a job or something, then you can send them those videos. And I think it definitely helps a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely checking out your old page. I can't wait to watch those old videos. I love that.
There will be some cringy stuff in there. Not really much. I didn't really get much on video getting killed. I mean, awesome. There's quite a few videos on there, but it was a process.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm excited. And thanks for doing this.